What's going on, family? Hope y'all are having a great day. Another great day for a video as well. Today is going to be about relationships. If you're watching this when it comes out, it's October, pretty much cuffing season, when everybody wants to pair up and do all these activities together, don't want to be alone, stuff like that. And I'm basically going to be talking about the difference between a toxic versus healthy relationship, because that is something that seems more apparent that we need to know about every day. Because there's just a lot of energy going on right now. Everybody's learning. We all have the time. And I guess to start it off, we're going to go with the first important step that I feel like is appreciation. So, in a healthy relationship, you both appreciate each other. And honestly, a healthy relationship is something that I feel like is not really popular, or we don't get to see a lot of, because everybody wants, for one, social media. They want to act like everything is good, everything is great. They don't talk about their issues, stuff like that. But in a healthy relationship, you two actually appreciate each other. Like, you don't have to hide who you are. You can actually be yourself. You can be your best self with them. A healthy relationship is where you two actually complete each other. Like, not complete, but enhance each other. Everybody wants to think that, oh, I'll be perfect when I find this one person I can dedicate myself to. Oh, I'll be better because I have somebody in my life. No, you should be bettering yourself for yourself. The best relationship you can have is always with yourself. And that's just where everything stems from. Because if you constantly deprecate yourself or put yourself down, then how are you going to raise other people up? If you don't appreciate yourself, how can you appreciate your significant other? If you don't love yourself, how do you know that you love your significant other? That was actually something that ended my last relationship before it even started, was that she didn't love herself. And I could tell because she wouldn't give herself to me fully. And that's tough. Reciprocated feelings is everything in a relationship. That goes into appreciation, being your best self. Just actually feeling good about your relationship. Another thing that I'm learning is that people don't really give themselves, and this is very important, give yourself permission to actually acquire what you want in life. Whether it be a fulfilling relationship, money, goals, careers, whatever. Give yourself permission because you deserve it. A lot of people will stay in a toxic relationship because they think that's what's best for them, because they think it's what they deserve, or they spend a lot of time into it, so it has to be theirs. But honestly, it's just people not being willing to accept that they made a mistake or change what they're used to. I wrote some stuff down so I don't lose my train of thought. Permission to do better. Oh, and another part is that you have free will. For example, one of my relationships, my girlfriend was dominant. She made all the decisions pretty much, always spent time at her place or her grandma, stuff like that. And I never really had much say in what we were doing or anything. Like, I pretty much lost myself in the relationship. And that's another reason why it's so important to really have a relationship with yourself and know who you are. Because you can lose yourself in another person easy. Relationships are mirrors. If you're just mirroring a mirror, where is the real reflection coming from, you know? That's kind of deep, ain't it? Let's see. And another thing is that the difference between healthy and toxic is that you guys have the same vision or the same ideals, same basically life views. Ralph Smart was putting it that you guys share the same plate. For example, I'm vegan or trying to be. I can't go out with a meat eater. It's only going to influence me to go down a path that I don't want to anymore, or something that I've outgrown. If your significant other is like adventurous and you're a homebody, be prepared to either compromise or lose that person, because there's no point in trying to change somebody in a relationship. That's one of the key points as well. You can never try to change somebody in a relationship. That is not the goal of a relationship. You're supposed to accept them fully and love them for what they are in that moment. If they change throughout the process, good. You're supposed to evolve with them. A relationship is like, it's not really competitive, but it's like progressive. You want to be better for a person, good. Do it with them. But don't try to change them because you want to change, you know? And the best way to change somebody is to actually change yourself, because how you come off to that person is um, life is basically 90% reaction and then 10% choice. So if you can change the 90% of what that person is viewing you as, they're going to change too. It's kind of hard to explain in that sense, but if you want to change the world, change yourself, period. And it ties back into having a relationship with yourself. Let's see. Another reason why people will choose a toxic relationship or choose to stay in one is because it's convenient at the time. My first real relationship lasted 9 months, and that was mainly because one, I was looking for someone for that time specifically, and I lied to myself and started to think that it could last forever when I knew that wasn't my intention. Um, Another one is that you become not comfortable, but they offer you something, whether it's money, place to stay, drugs, whatever. There's basically like bait. This universe will play you silly, like because it's always for yourself. There's always something to learn, especially with relationships, because they are a mirror. There's no better way to really face yourself than with a mirror. You can't run away from it, especially if it's in a relationship. And that ties into communication as well. Uh, you always want to be able to feel like you can express yourself fully to another person. Otherwise, it's like a cage, and why would you want that? Your dedicated person is supposed to be like your safe haven almost. And if you have to hide aspects of yourself from that person, then you might as well be lying to yourself, you know? But I think personally, the biggest difference between healthy versus toxic is that you honestly just feel like the best you can. Um, every relationship has its ups and downs, its disagreements, whatever. But how you handle those things, how you get through those things, whether it's separate or together, is what defines the relationship. What defines your relationship with that person. I mean, like, most problems in a relationship is not you against the other person, it's you two against that problem. You can't have that togetherness if you can't get on the same page with each other about issues, or you're wanting to change that person, because that creates the separation between you two. And I'm somebody who's always believed in the idea of twin flames. I've always believed that I have somebody who is like the actual other half of my soul, because I'm so enigmatic to everybody that I come across. There can only be like so many people in my point of view that share my point of view. um, but the more I actually come to love myself and see the world around me as a reflection, the more I attract more people that reflect and remind myself of me. It, and if you didn't watch my other videos, I said before that what you like about a person is actually what you like about yourself, and what you dislike about a person is the same thing you dislike about yourself. Usually, um, it could be what you dislike is something that you've already worked through, and you're just like, oh, this person's toxic. I don't want to be around them because of that. I don't want to revert to that way of thinking and stuff like that. Because whoever you're around is, show me your friends, I show you your future. Same goes with relationships. If you're spending all that time with one person who you want to change, or you see parts of them that aren't good, why are you literally going to commit all of your time to hanging with that person? You're just going to adopt those same characteristics that you, whether you do or don't like them. And I think toxic relationships, they all have their purpose in teaching you a lesson, but in the end, you have to let go. It's like every rose has its thorns, but what side are you getting the most of, you know? Yo, having real ass emotions talking about this. Because relationships to me are the most beautiful thing in this world. We are social creatures. And I mean, people for me are where I derive most beauty from, besides nature, obviously, because everything is perfect and divine and loving. And when people can actually reflect that same energy back to you, there's nothing more beautiful to me. I was actually tearing up because just recognizing myself, clean shaved, accepting myself. I usually hate shaving. Since 6 years, I've been having facial hair. So that's a good year that I've seen myself shaved and just, I don't know, shaping into my own better version of myself, whatever. But just recognizing myself as a vehicle of love, and the fact that you can find somebody that loves and appreciates you like you do. But that's also another important topic that, I mean, another reason. I don't have a word for it. Something that's extremely important if you want to have a good relationship is to have it with yourself, to love yourself. Because what you see in yourself is exactly what you're going to attract in a partner. If you give too much of yourself, you're going to attract a narcissist or something like that. Empaths and tend to attract narcissisms because the empaths always want to heal somebody. The narcissist needs healing, you know? And stuff like that. Like, if it's too much of one, then you'll find something to compensate. If you're lacking in something, then you'll find something to compensate. If you don't love yourself, you're going to find somebody that either loves you too much and you're put off by it, or somebody else that doesn't love you and you're like, fuck, I need to find somebody who does. And along that journey, you're probably going to find out that you need to love yourself first. It's crazy how everything ties in, but relationships are crazy. And the year is 2020, 2 that's a year of, I mean, 2 is literally the number of partners, relationships, all that. And you can see it's clear as day that everybody's having their own internal battles these days because, one, we have all this time, quarantine, whatever, to think about ourselves and go within. And not only that, but a lot of people have a lot of time to themselves being single. So it kind of makes you think, like, why do I want a relationship, for example? That's something you got to look at. The core reasons why you crave a relationship. Is it for attention, the intimacy, the physical touch? Are you not paying enough attention to yourself, really, your wants and needs? Figure that out first, honestly. Then, I mean, if you're in a toxic relationship, figure out if they're meeting that needs. Like, you can't you can't put a number value or a real value on your needs as a person, because that's all we live off of, really. And it's kind of crazy. This is kind of a long video. I appreciate to everybody who's watching this all the way through. I guess I'll leave you guys with one a good way to examine your priorities in a relationship and stuff like that. So the first real example we have of a relationship comes from our parents. Now, obviously, that's not like anything new, but it's a lot to actually comprehend once you think about it. Like, how did they treat each other? What are the ways that they loved each other? What was their ways of expressing themselves? Because a lot of the times they're going to teach us as an infant, and it gets instilled in our minds like, oh, this is what a working relationship is, or this is what it's going to be like. So very often we attract what we've seen our parents go through. So I mean, divorced parents, like, a lot of the times their kids will have trouble getting into relationships or even be scared of relationships because they're like, if most end in divorce, like, why am I going to put myself through that, you know? Or you could have other symptoms of bad behavior that you don't recognize because it was taught to you as an infant, when everything that your parents do is law, period, you know? So it's a lot of subconscious work you got to go through. But honestly, if you get to a healthy relationship where you guys actually better each other, I promise there's nothing that tops it in this world. So I think that would be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Help the channel get the word out. I shed a little bit of emotion on this video. I hope you guys can appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and much love and peace.